I have invested over $250,000 into Bitcoin across 5 different categories. I'm going to tell you exactly how that money has been invested and share with you how much each investment is worth right now. First, though, I think it's important to quickly address why. Why, Andy? Why did you do this? The obvious answer is I'm really optimistic and bullish on Bitcoin. That's a big fat duh, though. The real answer is that, but it's also that I think there is a series of events that are about to happen that will give Bitcoin more exposure to investors and the general public than ever before. Among other factors, when the new Bitcoin ETFs get approved, there will potentially be trillions of dollars that could start flowing into Bitcoin. I believe these factors will result in wild price appreciation and adoption for Bitcoin. So I want to have as much exposure to that as I can. But I also believe that Bitcoin is the soundest and best money available today, so I plan on hanging on to much of my Bitcoin forever. Let's start with the most typical of all my areas of investment into Bitcoin: direct investing. This is the best way to get exposure to Bitcoin, in my opinion, and my most preferred way. I'd rather just own Bitcoin than anything else on this list. So for that reason, it's still my biggest investment of all these, but only by a little bit. In the past 6 years, I've invested about $116,000 into Bitcoin. This has bought me a little over 8 BTC in total, with my cost basis at roughly $14,000 per coin. I bought quite a bit of this sub $10,000 and even sub $5,000 per coin in the previous bear market. But my purchases in the recent bull and bear have raised that cost basis overall. Now, I would love to have bought more in the 2019 to 2020 bear market, but I just wasn't making as much money as I am now. In fact, if you have access to a time machine, call me. Even so, I'm pretty happy with what I was able to buy and how that investment has gone so far. All throughout 2018, 2019, and 2020, I was buying Bitcoin with whatever spare money I could find. After the bull run in late 2017 and early 2018, and Bitcoin hit an all-time high price of $20,000 per coin, I dug deep and researched it like crazy. What I found while doing that totally convinced me I need as much Bitcoin as I could get. So not only did I set auto buys every week of $250 to $500 a week, but every time that Bitcoin had a big drop, like in 2018 when it went from $6,500 per coin to just above $3,000 per coin in just a few weeks, I was buying as much as I could. It just felt like a big opportunity to me. I felt it down in my gut. Well, it seems to have paid off, because after investing about $116,000 into Bitcoin so far, today that investment is worth about $280,000. Next up is an investment I have talked a lot about, and that's Bitcoin mining. In the first few years of getting into crypto, and more specifically getting into Bitcoin, I was hooked on the idea of mining it. I have ventured into mining quite a bit in the past. I love mining crypto. I just haven't mined any Bitcoin until this past year. However, I didn't really have anywhere to put the machines, and my home electricity rate was way too high. So I sat on the sidelines, and don't you worry, I kept that bench nice and warm. When the next bull run rolled around in 2021, I had lots of money to buy machines, but still nowhere to put them. And also, mining machines were going for absolutely crazy prices. So I ended up waiting. Eventually, though, I got connected with Musk Miners. They are my trusted source for buying Bitcoin miners, and more importantly, where I host my machines. I don't have to deal with the heat or noise, and my electric rate is way cheaper. So in the summer of 2022, I purchased my first 6 mining machines for $53,784, or $8,964 per unit, which at the time I thought was a good price because the machines were 64% cheaper than their peak price. A 64% off sale. That's a great price, right? Well, unfortunately, prices kept dropping, but instead of lamenting, I just kept buying. Later in the fall of 2022, I bought 10 more units for $38,043, or $3,804 per unit. Then finally, or at least for now until I buy some more, which I probably will, I bought 3 more units a month ago in September. I paid $2,600 for each of these, or about $8,000 in total. So, in total, that means I've spent just over $100,000 on my 19 Bitcoin miners, which is $5,294 per machine on average. And that's the nice thing about continuing to buy. My overall price for each machine goes down. Since I started my mining journey, I've spent roughly $22,000 on my electricity. And as of right now, I've mined 1.99 Bitcoin, which is worth just under $69,000. Nice. I am so close to 2 full Bitcoin. I'm literally a couple of days away. And yes, I will definitely make a video when that happens. I should get pretty close to 3 full Bitcoin mined just before the halving happens next year. So after my electric costs, I'm only about 50% of the way to making my $100,000 back with my mining efforts. But I suspect I will break even on these pretty soon if Bitcoin's price keeps moving in the direction it currently is. Up, up, and away, Bitcoin. Okay, now hot off the heels of my Bitcoin mining investment is more Bitcoin mining investing. Instead of buying the actual machines though, I have been buying Bitcoin mining NFTs. I have put about $8,000 into Fraction mining and $10,000 into Alpha Shares Mining Co. Basically, they sell NFTs. They use the money they raise from the NFT sales to buy a container, buy mining machines, set up all the electric, etc. Then once those start actually mining, they start paying out a proportional share of the profits to NFT holders. I got connected with Fraction mining first. Alex from the YouTube channel Tactical Investing is behind that one. Their main site is actually here in Texas where I am. And next month I'll be traveling to the site to film a tour, check it all out, and I'm sure to ask Alex 1,000 different questions, or maybe 1,001 different questions. And not included in this investment are my other NFT purchases with Fraction. I have Kadena mining NFTs, and I just recently got Kaspa mining NFTs with them. Now, unfortunately, the Bitcoin NFTs are sold out right now, but they still have some Kadena and Kaspa mining NFTs left. But don't worry, they will launch more Bitcoin mining NFTs in the future. With my other NFTs through Fraction, I've invested $16,500 so far between BTC, KDA, and Kaspa NFTs. Alpha Shares Mining Co. is the latest one I've invested in. I bought 10 of their reserve NFTs. These will give me Bitcoin mining rewards and also a share of antimony element refining that they will also be doing. The Alpha Shares operation is based in Paraguay. Now, I have chatted with the team and I might try to also make my way down there to see that operation too. The Bitcoin mining NFTs are currently sold out, but they will likely launch their next batch before the year is over. My Fraction BTC mining NFTs are profiting about $105 a month right now, and my Alpha Shares NFTs are profiting about $160 a month. The Alpha Shares ones, though, will make closer to $500 a month once the refining rewards start rolling in. The next investment up is an even more indirect investment into Bitcoin and Bitcoin mining. So far, I've invested about $10,000 into publicly traded Bitcoin mining companies, specifically Marathon Digital or Mara and Riot Platforms. Watch out, Andy's becoming a stock market bro. What stocks you buying, brah? So why have I been investing here? Well, these stocks tend to do really well when Bitcoin is doing well. So at the very minimum, I think there is a lot of upside potential. And I like having some diversification of asset types, even within a single asset category like Bitcoin. Both Mara and Riot also let me sell options on them in Robinhood, or your options selling brokerage of choice. So I can not only hold them, but I can get paid to hold them. In fact, I made a video on selling options if you are interested. It's just another strategy or approach in my arsenal. I plan to add to these positions over the next few months. I'm also looking at a few new ones to add as well, namely Hut 8 mining, but I'm also looking at CleanSpark and Cypher mining. My Bitcoin mining stock holdings are worth basically what I have invested into them. I've been investing all year into these, just a little bit at a time, and so I got low prices in the first half of the year, but because I kept buying, I bought at higher prices in the second half. So my holdings are worth just a little over $10,000 right now. This is definitely a future play for me. Up next is my investment into Grayscale Bitcoin Trust, or GBTC. GBTC is kind of like the spot Bitcoin ETFs that we'll hopefully be getting soon. And they're even pushing for GBTC to be converted into a spot ETF. But basically, GBTC allows investors to get access to Bitcoin via a traditional investment vehicle, AKA, it's a boring way to buy Bitcoin. It's available at a lot of stock brokerages, so you can buy it just like any other stock. And that's my main reason for doing this, is its availability in boring old brokerages. There is some extra complication here in that GBTC can carry a premium or it can carry a discount. I don't want to get into all that here, but I will say that I have mostly been buying this while it carries a discount so that I can see more upside in the future, hopefully. I've put about $10,000 into GBTC in a Roth IRA account. And the reason for this is simple. I like Roth IRA accounts a lot. And if you don't know what they are, you should watch this video that I made. And like I've said before, I also think that Bitcoin is going to appreciate like crazy in the future. So I want exposure to that price appreciation in an investment account where I can enjoy the returns 100% tax-free, which of course is the beauty of the Roth IRA. Right now, this position is worth a little over $20,000. I can't actually contribute to our Roths right now because we are over the income threshold. But when I contributed a few years ago, my timing into these positions was actually pretty good, with most of it happening between 2020 and 2021. Now, of course, hindsight being what it is, I could have sold this position near the top of the market and then bought it back in the past year and incurred no taxes, since you can trade tax-free in a Roth. But timing the market is tough, if not impossible for most people. Maybe if I really was a stock market bro, I could have timed that perfectly. Altogether, after investing $250,000 into Bitcoin, that investment is now worth about $365,000. This is also kind of a guess because things like my mining machines are definitely worth less than when I paid originally for them, but I don't know exactly how much they are worth right now. But that is one that I think will also go way up in the future. But suffice it to say, my overall BTC portfolio is up right now. And I am really curious, if you are invested in Bitcoin, where have you invested? Just Bitcoin directly, some mining, all the above? It's also worth noting that all of my Bitcoin miners and NFTs produce about $5,000 a month in revenue. So you should watch this video where I break down my entire experience over the past year and answer the question, is it worth it to mine Bitcoin? Goodbye.